Of course, the next big question you've got is, well, where do I find products with rights? Well, that's where this video comes in. We're going to talk about some of the best places for you to find products with rights and how you can purchase them and possibly even find more places. So, there's a lot of good sources for products with rights. There's some that are really good, there's some that are, they're alright. And there's others that are dubious. There's a lot of places that are promoting the same stuff. So you may find that once a master resale rights product's released, you might find it in a dozen different sites across the internet or more. But then oftentimes it's better for you to find the original source. But remember, if you've got any doubts over the authenticity of the rights, then contact the original product owner or creator or publisher or whoever it might be and check what the rights are and say, oh, I've been sold this product with these rights, they don't sound right because whatever, I just want to check that they're okay and that I am allowed to use it like this. If you're not sure about whether the way you want to use it is permissible, then again do the same. Check the authenticity of the rights. Basically it avoids any problems later on, getting your website shut down, getting yourself sued or whatever it might be. Yep. People can do that, and they may well do it if they feel you're infringing on the rights too much or abusing the system. Many marketers will sell products with rights direct to their list, so it's well worth your while being on a lot of marketers' lists. I'd recommend creating an account specifically for this so that you can just make sure that you don't get your email flooded with offers, because that's what will happen. But if you keep your eye on them, what you'll find is quite often they'll start notifying you about releases with rights and so on and so forth. The other option is to join a membership site that offers products with rights. Now, masterresellrights.com is one I've mentioned before, and I will mention again. It's probably one of the best out there. There are a lot of sites, and I'll tell you this for nothing, that will buy products from a site like this and then try and pass them off to you. But what you will find is you won't get the same level of rights as you will from the original source. So they may get non-transferable PLR rights, which means they can only sell you PLR, master resale rights. But if you go to the source, you can get your private label rights yourself, which of course is more valuable to you. So you could find a membership site like this, and as I said, it will take you a week to download everything at masterresellrights.com. There is loads, which is great because it means you can enter a lot of niches. There's everything from books to video courses to websites to templates to graphics and more. So everything you need is there. Now you can, and notice that I'm saying this with hesitation, buy resale rights products on eBay, but be very, very careful. The problem is people put pretty much anything on eBay and sell it, and I can tell you now, a lot of the products on eBay that they're selling with rights are either A, so old that Noah was using them, or B, they are not allowed to have rights sold to them and they shouldn't have rights sold to them. They are somebody's property that somebody has pretty much ripped off and is selling the rights to. So yes, you can find some stuff on eBay, but I would never recommend using it for finding products with rights. It's opening yourself up a big can of worms, and the potential is you're going to buy something that you shouldn't, without the right rights, which means you're going to be in a position where selling it is potentially breaking the law, and it's not going to be the person who sold you the rights they're going to come after. It's going to be you as the person who's selling it, and you're going to be their first port of call. So you don't want that. So I would personally recommend avoiding eBay. Yes, you can get stuff cheap there, but that's at the expense of quality. Anyone who's willing to sell you, 10,000 products to sell for $1, they've got to be worthless, pretty much. Not being funny here, or illegal, or probably both. Now, it is inevitable that you will buy some junk products. We all do it. If that's the case, just go and get a refund for it, or put it down to experience and move on. It depends upon what you want to do. But yeah, there are a lot of junk PLR out there, I'm going to be honest. you know, it's up to you whether you want to take the junk and there's enough good stuff in that junk for you to bother rewriting it, or whether you just think, I can't be bothered. There are always going to be junk products, but you may find that there's enough goodness in them for you to rescue them and make them into something good. If not, just avoid them. There's plenty of good quality PLR and master resale rights if you go looking for it. But I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Check a product before you promote it. Read it, check the facts, check the information. You're the one that's going to get into trouble if there's anything in it that's potentially dangerous or suable. And you're the one that's going to have their reputation ruined if it's rubbish. As I said to you, I remember buying the product that was absolutely dreadful. And yes, I got a refund. And no, I never bought from that person again. In fact, I unsubscribed from all their lists. Anyone who promoted something like that wasn't the sort of person that I'd do business with. So, be prepared that if you sell rubbish, your reputation's going to go, your sales are going to go, and you may well end up losing a lot of business because of it. And it's not worth it. Check the product and make sure it's quality. But you've also got to make sure that there's a market for the product. Yeah, as I said, PLR product authors will just pick subjects randomly. You know, they'll tell you, of course, that they've researched, and some will, but not all. Some will just sort of have read an article in the magazine and thought, right, I'll create a product on that. You know, you've got to make sure that there's a market for it, because you don't want to be stuck with something, well, I can't sell this to anyone, no one wants it. You've got to make sure that there's a market of buyers. And unless, of course, you're gaining revenue by advertising products or something like that from, say, Amazon or ClickBank or wherever, in which case that's fine. You don't need a market of buyers. You need a market of people looking for information, and then they go to Amazon and buy the product. But you may find that, you know, there isn't a market there, in which case you need to not buy the product. Now, as I said, some product creators will just create products, PLR or master resale right products, regardless, simply because they need to meet the quota for their membership site. You know, there's so many membership sites producing products with rights now that, you know, you're bound to find some of the niches are not going to be the best. So you've got to decide whether it's a niche that is worth your while entering. Remember, some of the big niches with lots of competition, they're actually the most profitable. Some of the smaller niches that you may think, well, they're easy to rank in. Yeah, they're easy to rank in, but they're not going to make you rich. So you've got to trade off the two there and decide whether it's something you want to sell. If you Google your keywords and PLR or private label or master resale or resale rights, you're bound to find some products there. And you know, you'll probably find a lot of membership sites trying to sell you memberships, but if you look through, you're going to find something of interest to you and something that's relevant to your needs. I'd also recommend that you look at some of the popular internet marketing forums. Again, there's some that are at the seedier end of the market. Be a little bit careful there. At the top end of the market, the more high quality ones, you're going to find decent quality offers and decent quality products there. There are plenty of products out there. You've just got to find them. Sometimes it can be difficult, I will admit that. But if you do find them, you could be onto a potential pot of gold. There are a lot of sources of products with rights. We're going to show you a few in the next couple of videos. I want to show you some of them. I want to show you what some of them are like. So, you know, think about the products that you want. Think about the rights that you want, and go looking for them, and you'll find them. Remember to check the product before you sell it, or even before you buy it. If you can, check the quality is satisfactory. The last thing you want is to buy a lemon. So let's move on and show you a couple of sites now where you can find some products with rights. I'll show you a little bit about what you can expect to find there.